trying to build the image in my mind.
Yeah.
When I go down there, can I look at the shop your dad raced out of?
Yeah.
Can I stare at it?
Absolutely. You can stare at that. You can stare at the engine shop.
All that's
all
still
in the
there.
same parking lot.
What's inside those buildings?
The engine shop is still pretty much a functioning engine shop.
What do they build motors
dynos,
for?
machine shops. A guy is renting that building, and I think he's building engines for road race
Hot
cars
rods or something?
and maybe some hot rods.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what he builds
Didn't
for.
didn't Ernie or Dan build hot rod motors for a while?
I mean, Uncle Ernie's been into all kinds of motors.
Okay.
Dan, still to this day, he did a lot of transmission and gear work. He still does some of that freelance, transmission work for guys here and there, road race vintage cars or whatever. So he still does some of that.
What's in the rest of the building?
Those are two different buildings. So it was actually really, looking back, I mean, they had an awesome setup, back in the day. And they had engine shop that was on its own. And then, the chassis fab shop and body shop was another building. And yeah, you walk in, there's some offices, truck bay. They parked the truck inside and had a wash area. I mean, it's a race shop. I mean, it's this.
Yeah.
Just, building
1983 or something?
Yeah, mid-late 80s.
Is any of your stuff around there?
Yeah, all of basically any late model that I felt like I was emotionally attached to, Dad let me keep, which was really cool. And
like which ones? Like, give us some.
Yeah, like
Snowball Derby.
Both Snowball Derby cars are there. The car we won with in 15 literally came back from the race, and it has the same set of tires on it from the way we ended the race that day.
Oh, neat.
Tape still on the tire from where the guys were hanging the tires on the pit stop, which was really cool. So basically just cleaned it up, and it's just sitting there. I have our Winchester 400 car. I believe that same car was one of the Snowball Derby cars was one of our All-American, or was the All-American 400 winner. And then the World Crown 300 car was also the Winchester 400 winner. So have those cars from those big wins, which I thought was really cool and was massive moments and me coming along and meant a lot to what we had going.
Do you miss racing supers?
I do, yeah. I miss it a lot, and I really just miss how we did it more than anything. It was just so cool. And looking back, I didn't understand at the time how cool it was and what we had going on and how special some of it was. Basically there was a group of guys from literally all within 15 minutes of the shop, and we just did things on our own and didn't really ask for much help outside of there. Built Uncle Ernie helped with motors across the parking lot, built our own shocks in the building, set up springs. I mean, did it all right there, which was really cool. And I don't feel like until you're a part of something like that, it's really hard to understand how cool it is, and looking back on it, just how much pride you have in that.
Did you have a lot of pressure on yourself in those times, so you feel like maybe you didn't enjoy it as much as you should have because you're worried about like the next level and making it overall?
Yeah, but at the same time, like that to me, you want to enjoy it and whatnot, but at the same time, if you weren't worried about moving forward and you weren't worried about doing good and didn't want to push yourself to be better, you probably wouldn't have done as good, you know. So I can't fault me wanting to push myself to do good.
So that was my feeling about my late model racing, is I didn't realize how much fun I was having.
And I think that's the thing. I was working. We were working hard, and I mean, we raced all the time. I mean, it was every weekend somewhere. Yeah. I think one year we ran like 45 late model races, which is a lot in the asphalt late model world. Not for like dirt car guys, but for that was a lot of racing.
So do you think that, I know you got a long way to go, but do you think that you'll ever go back? I know your dad went back and ran dirt and played around, and he's, like I said, he still does a little vintage racing here and there and some club stuff.
I have, I guess.
Daydream about that?
Yeah, I do, and my dilemma in it, I have two things that I have a lot of pride in. I loved the group of guys that we had that were working on our cars. Wouldn't be sitting here without a couple of them.
Who we talk about? 'Cause you said they're all within 15 minutes of you. So something about this group of guys that you really like. Are they friends of yours?
Yeah,
or are they family? What?
Became friends. Yeah, over the years. So one is that, and just how I feel like those friendships grew over the years. The other thing is, the last race we ran, we won. So it's like, and it was a snowball derby. So it's like, do you go out? You just be done with it, go out on top, be finished, or do you try to go back? But to me, I don't want to go back and do it unless I could get some of that group back together to go run. So that's kind of my two things.
Well, we now have established nobody's going to leave Dawsonville, and if they do, they're going to come back. So that can't be too hard, right?
Maybe,
you can get the band back together, I bet.
I never wanted to race anything like that while I was still running Cup because there's so many responsibilities and any little bit of tiny free time, sliver of free time you had, you didn't want to be racing.
And you're right.
Yeah, but like once I retired, I'm like, now I want to go run a late mile race at Myrtle Beach or just show up somewhere without saying anything.
And that's the dilemma I get into as well is, like a lot of guys go and run races, right? But those guys, they're devoting their time to their obligations on the NASCAR side. They're just showing up and racing. I mean, I doubt they might be working on the cars some and involved in that a little bit, but is it an everyday thing? No. Was it an everyday thing when we were racing? I felt like it was, and I want to be involved.
That's what you want to be.
I want to be involved like that, and I don't really know that I'm with you. I'm not sure that I want to devote that amount of time in. I don't even know that I have enough free time to devote that amount of time to it. So it's tough.
When you do, though, you should go back and race under your real name.
Yes.
Who's with me?
Yes.
Clyde Elliott.
Do it.
Yeah.
That is, I would buy that shirt. If you printed it today, I'd buy it tomorrow.
All right, good. Well, I might have to print that now.
We learned this just today, by the way.
None of them know that.
None of us knew that.
I did.
Yeah.
If you go on Wikipedia,
and we
you learn a lot.
That's what I should do. I should spend more time on Wikipedia. But we all agreed that Clyde Elliott's a hell of a good racing name.
Awesome racing name.
Yeah.
But you don't like it, I bet.
No, I don't mind Clyde. A lot of my friends call me Clyde, actually.
They do?
Yeah.
Well, that's where you knew it then, right?
Yeah.
No, I went to Wikipedia.
Oh, Wikipedia.
I'm not in the calling him Clyde circle.
Oh, you're not?
No, I don't think
Who
that's very
gets
close
to call
friends.
you Clyde? Who does?
I mean, like anybody. Blaney calls me Clyde occasionally. Guys I play video games with call me.
You play
Clyde.
video games?
Yeah.
When did that start?
Well, I've always I've always played. I played a lot, like in middle school and stuff. And I kind of got away from it a little bit.
I thought so.
And here lately, I don't know, probably the past year or maybe two.
What friend drug you back into that?
I don't know that
One
it
of
was
them
really.
Dawsonville boys?
No, I don't think it was anything in particular. There you go. Trashing
That is not
Dawsonville.
trashing. What?
Yeah.
That is not trashing it.
I don't know. It felt like a dig. It might
was
have been
not
a
a
dig.
dig.
It might have been
It
a
was
dig.
a
Well, it has
dig.
to be a Dawsonville guy because he's in Dawsonville.
He said it with a
dig.
smirk.
Come on.
You can play video games
Play
with people
video
across
games
the
with
country.
somebody in Hong Kong if you want. It doesn't have to be in Dawsonville.
That's right.